graduate study in the US. So I'm a VF Fellow, a Vietnam Education Foundation Fellowship Fellow. So my talk will be a little bit biased to a VF Fellowship, but I will also provide you with some information about some other available scholarships that you can find. So first of all, I would like to show you the outline of my talk. I will talk about 3 topics. One is some available opportunity for graduate study in the US. And the second one is how to successfully apply for competitive graduate school in the United States. And the last one is how to succeed in your study over there. So the first scholarship I will talk about is the VF, which is the Vietnam Education Foundation Fellowship. And I will talk about process A, process B, and the visiting scholar program. And after that, very briefly for Fulbright scholarship and the graduate research assistantship or teaching assistantship, which is provided by mentors, graduate school, and also private foundation. So the VF Fellowship we've been familiar with them. It's been here for many years. And this fellowship will provide us with $27,000 for the first 2 years of the graduate study, either a master or PhD degree. And this is enough to support you to pursue your study in many US institutions. And after these 2 years, the mentor will continue to fund us, or we can find other scholarship. And every VF Fellow will also receive $1,000 for professional development grant, where you can use to buy computer, laptop, or travel to conference, or buying some translation service, etc. And someone to support. VF will also help us to take TOEFL and GRE score, and also visa to the US application. And you know, application to visa to the US is a big hassle. And sometimes a lot of students get turned down because of some unreasonable reason. But VF will take care of it. So if you get VF fellowship, it's almost guaranteed, almost 100% that you will get a visa. And then also health checkup, immunization, and also have a pre-departure orientation. The pre-departure orientation, or PDO, is a 1-week training. So you're going to work with some expert from the US. They will tell you about how to quickly and successfully integrate in the US society. We'll tell you about the law, the culture, professionalism, working ethics over there, etc. And also pay for your ticket and give you $500 to settle down when you arrive in the US. So it's very complete coverage. In VF, there's 2 processes. The first, most commonly followed, is the process A, which starts about December and in April for application. And after that, we're going to have oral exam and also apply to US university and receive admission. And after that, the fellow will be named and provided with the fellowship. We also have now the process B, which is basically directly applied to VF. So when for process B, the student have to receive the admission of the US university already. And then VF will kick in the money and support the study. So process A, who can apply? Of course, just Vietnamese people by citizenship, and you need to have a bachelor degree, or you can also get a college junior or senior as well. Actually, I received my fellowship, VF fellowship at the end of my 3rd year, so it's very, you can apply early, even before you finish your bachelor degree. You can, at least GPA, important factor, you need to have at least 7 out of 10, and bachelor is average. TOEFL score, now I think they have a new requirement, more than 500 points, and with the new IBD, sorry, I'm not familiar with that, but I think it's pretty high requirement, and IELTS also. And also degree from English-speaking country, in case, for example, you have a bachelor from Singapore or US, etc., then that will also count for your English proficiency. And of course, GRE score, there's no minimal score, but it's going to be competitive, so the higher the score, the better. And application now is just only online. Previously, I have to bring out like a stack of paper and send it by post to VF, but now everything is done online, so you can go to VF website. And our application, it will start every year for December and close in April. So we have six months to prepare for it. And round 1 is qualification screening, which is done by VF staff. And route 2 is oral exam interview with a US professor. And route 3 is we need to apply for a US university. So if we successfully convince the US professor that we are a good candidate, it's not over. The last round is very important. We need to receive admission to a US university in order to receive VF scholarship. Process B, who can apply? Of course, also Vietnamese and get a bachelor ready. And GPA also the same, 7 out of 10. And in bachelor, master degree. And need to have received an official graduate admission to a VF Alliance school or a leading US graduate school in order to be supported by VF. And similarly, process B also have a qualification screening and also the interview by phone in every March by US professor. And this is could be also another program, and I think it may be interesting for some of us here who already have a PhD or who will have it soon. So we have initiated a new program, it's called Visiting Scholar Program or VSP. So this program is to support professional development training, which may include study, research, or observational activity to take place in cooperation with a leading US academic institution. And duration is about 5 months to 1 year. So basically, if you have a PhD already, you want to have additional training in the US, or you can also have MD or additional training, this is the scholarship you should apply for. And who can apply? Vietnamese citizens and PhD holder in the VF supported field, the natural field like science, technology, engineering, math, and medicine. Okay? And need to have a high level of English proficiency. The application procedure is a little bit different. They announced the program a little bit 1 month earlier than the process A and B. So now the VSP program starts in November, and all application in mid-January until April, annually. And need to have a personal interview in Vietnam in early August annually with US professor. For the VSP application, it's a little bit similar. We need to have a very concise and very clear professional development plan. For example, which institution we're going to go to and who is going to be our mentor in the US. And we did also have a trainer plan, which is you want to work it out together with your mentor in the US, and commitment from the US host university. So they need to say, okay, we are very happy to have this person coming to our institution to have additional training, and support letter from Vietnamese home institution. Sometimes, for example, you work for this university, for example, before you leave, you need to have the agreement letter. But if you work for like independently, then this requirement is waived. VF financial support for the VSP program, the same as the process A and B, have health checkup, immunization, medical insurance. It's very important because in the US, the medical care is very expensive, so you need to have medical insurance at all times. And also, they will give you a PDO, the pre-departure orientation, and ticket round trip, and settling in allowance, the same at $500, and pretty generous monthly stipend for $2,300 per month, and also give you a professional development grant every year, $300 per person. So that is for the VF. Now I will very briefly talk about Fulbright. I didn't have any experience with Fulbright because I never received a scholarship from them. But I heard many people have a very good experience with this organization. So Fulbright, they have a scholarship for master in PhD students. And so their mission is to support international students to pursue master and PhD degree in natural sciences, engineering, technology, mathematics, art, social science. And this is the link to their website. So all of these presentations will be distributed to you, so you don't have to write down this link. In application, I think for this year, this open now, and it will be in October. This is the deadline. For GI, which is the graduate research assistantship or teaching assistantship, this is very common in the US. So when you enter the graduate school, then most of the time the school will either pay for you, your salary, insurance, medical insurance, stipend, tuition fee, everything. And in exchange, we need to work as a research assistant, which is The mission is basically perform the research to fulfill our PhD requirement. We can also sometimes have to teach 1 or 2 classes per semester. And this GRE or graduate research assistantship will be provided either by the school or sometimes by the mentors if they can find a grant in the money. You can also think about some other foundation in the US, for example, like US Department of Defense. They have a very competitive national competition for the pre-doctoral and postdoctoral fellowship. Susan G. Conduct the Cure, which is for breast cancer eradication. Rosalie B. Hyde Foundation, Cancer Prevention, Texas, etc. And I list here a couple of scholarships in my school, and it's pretty plenty. It's about 30 or 40 something. You can check it out. Okay, this is the link for the scholarship at the MD Anderson Cancer Center. So now this is my I want to share with you my experience how to apply for graduate school and also scholarships. And the first requirement is, of course, we need to set out on the ground by having an outstanding academic achievement. You need to have a very good GPA and also award and scholarship and title, everything. So the more you get, the better. Have very good English proficiency, which is exemplified by high TOEFL score, GRE score, and also good writing, listening, and speaking skill. In addition to that, the leadership, experience, teamwork ability, communication skill, organization skill, management, and other soft skills will be additional asset for your application. And commitment to help community is also very important because we do science to make this world a better place. So if we can show commitment, contribute to community via the volunteer service, then it's going to be a big plus. And the last one is also passion and self-motivation. Passion is very important. So my experience is, in order to apply successfully for graduate school, we need to prepare in advance. And usually, more careful you pay attention, more attention to pay to this preparation process, the higher chance you're going to get. So application package, you need to practice interview questions with your friends or with any colleague you can find. You need to polish your statement of purpose really well. And so send your statement of purpose to your peers or somebody who has experience with this process. Study very hard, but with a very smart plan. Okay? Participate in research and volunteer activity whenever you can. And do strong networking with colleagues and professors. I think, for example, here, Dr. Lin and other young, they come to Vietnam. I think it's a wonderful opportunity to network with them and create a relationship. Can often obtain strong letter of recommendation because once the professor know you're capable of doing something, then they will be very confident and very comfortable to help you with the letter of recommendation. And this is going to be a very important factor for your successful application. And continuously look for opportunity. So continuously go online, ask your friends, and open your eyes, and waiting for the new opportunity coming. Okay, so now a quick sum of just 3 slides, how to succeed your study in US. I read an article from Professor Guo Baoqiao. I think everyone here know him. He's a 2012 Field Medal winner, which is basically like the Nobel Prize for math. And in that article, he said that his secret for success is very simple. It's discipline, passion, and courage. Discipline is work hard with logic and long-term plan, smart plan. Passion, he chose a career that he loved. So basically, he says where he works, basically like playing. The courage to face challenge, to tackle the most challenging project, and overcome the obstacle. But in addition to that, I think we also need to have very good networking skill, soft skill training, and also have a commitment to community service and continuous learning. I think those factors are also very important. The second lesson I learned from my friend, his name is Dr. Lê Khắc Hiếu, a VF fellow, and he's very successful VF fellow and entrepreneur. So he established a company, he started a company when he was a graduate student, and then he sold it to Facebook for a couple of $1 million. And he's a very successful person. So what he told me is that his secret is just a combination between put a focus on mind, body, and heart. So he always tries to develop his mind by continuous learning and enriching knowledge, and In the body, he trained his body intact. So he said he keeps his body like a temple, meaning that he always do meditation and running and regular exercise. And when you feel good, your body feels good, your mind is clear, and your heart will also, you're going to be more generous, you're going to help more people. And so these three factors, they are interconnected. It's very important. We need to keep the mind strong, the body healthy, and the heart open and kind. This is my own philosophy. I always focus on three things. One, ethics, doing the right thing. Okay? You live a life so that when you sleep at night, you don't have to worry about anything. You think that you already do everything you can to help other people. The second thing is health. Health is just both physically and mentally. So take care of your health, do regular exercise, do sport. Mentally, means you need to relax, listen to music, and have a logic and smart plan to divide your workload. If you just scramble everything, and you will be very stressed, and a couple of PhD students have to quit the school because they cannot tolerate the stress. Talent here is just not just the professional talent, but also the ability to communicate with other people, to lead people, and live harmoniously with our society. So this is just my philosophy. So I think that our life is built on these three legs: ethics, health, and talent. So we need to grow them simultaneously. If any of these fail, then our life and our career also fail. So I will start my first presentation here. And I want to sincerely thank the Vietnam National University, University of Science, and also the Stem Cell Lab. You're wonderful. And also the VF for sponsoring this course, and also our hosting institution, the MD Anderson Cancer Center. And in this presentation at the end, I also provide additional information about how to improve English proficiency, and also more information about VF Fellowship. But I will not present it to save time. For example, here you can see a couple of links where you can go and learn more about how to get a better GA score, a TOEFL score, and also learn about how to successfully study abroad, etc. Okay, so I will start with my first presentation here, and we'll open for questions if you have any. I'll be happy to answer.
Any question for Dick? I'm not going to take the microphone away. Any questions for him?
I have some question. First, I want to know when the final year BAF offer for Vietnam citizen.
I mean, they will finish the program in 2018. Okay?
Yes, I know, but but I think some other fellowship BAF fellowship will send me that in next year. Because in 2018, the funding is
Right.
yeah.
That's a good question. I'm not very aware when they're gonna basically finish the mission. Okay. Actually, they have a plan to extend it. They have a plan to extend via fellowship, and if we have fellowship, but just in case the VF just stop. We also have a plan to establish another fellowship by collecting donation philanthropies. It's a big plan. We're working on that. So we continue to train as we have initiated. So we continue to send out to the US outstanding students. So just continue to learn and prepare. I think opportunity will be always available, but I am not so sure when they're going to start the mission. I have no idea. But I believe probably that in 1 or 2 years they will finish the mission. But they will continue to support you until you finish your study in the US.
Another question is, you said that if I want to win VEF, I must have a high GPA. What happens if I don't have a perfect GPA?
That's a good question. GPA is just one of the factors for consideration. They also take into account your research, like publication paper, your determination. Like, for example, if you have a very clear career development plan, then they compensate for it. If you have a lot of commitment and experience in volunteer activity, leadership experience, that will also count.
What do you think is the most important?
What is the most important factor? I think two things. One is actually three. I'm sorry. One is ability. Second one is the commitment to help the community. And third one is the leadership. Because VF, they want to, when you read the mission, it's very clear. They want to help train the best leading scientists in the US so they can contribute to the community. So you see three factors: science, physical ability, doing research, and leadership, and also commitment to help community. If you have all those three factors, I think you will have a high chance of winning this fellowship.
I have planned to apply here in 2015, and I want to learn more about cancer. So, do you have any suggestions for me? For example, connect with a professor or anything to repair?
Right. I think this is something you can start with. This course is the first beginning, because at the end of the course we will have certificate. That certificate, if you show to VF, they will appreciate that, because this is part of the program. They know the quality, and they know your commitment and your capability.
But I have problem because I have just did course in 2 days ago, so I missed some class.
Okay.
So I want to ask that I can join in the final exam and may I have certificate?
Sure. What the reason we established a certain rule is to make sure that the student they have a strong commitment to the class. But we always, our ultimate goal is to help spread the knowledge. Okay. So, for example, if you miss, let's say like 4 hours, 6 lectures, that's fine. You can always watch the video again and read the lecture and write a report, write a review, what you know, what you learned from those courses. And we're going to read that, we're going to judge it. If we see that, okay, you already grab all of the necessary knowledge for this lecture, we're going to count that you were present there. So no problem, don't worry about it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Sure.
I want to ask you about one question about community activity.
Sure.
What should I do if my volunteer activity don't have any certified from any foundation, any fund or school or yes.
Okay, I got what you mean. So the question is, for example, you volunteers for some organization. So sometimes it's hard to get a certificate, like official approval or certificate, right? No problem. We can ask somebody who work with you in that activity to write a letter, certify that, okay, you have how many hours you've been contributing and what the purpose of your volunteer activity, and translate that into English, and that will count as well. And list activity in your CV. Okay.
And other question is design full ride and VEF
Right.
scholarship. Can you issue more scholarship for us for study PhD
Right.
in the USA?
Yeah, every school, I believe that they always have more or less some of the PhD fellowship at their school. So you need to do your homework. Go to their website, the school website, and check out the fellowship and scholarship section. Okay. And usually they're going to list all of the information online. It's a very transparent process, and you can directly apply for it. And sometimes, for example, our school, if you pass the admission round and you will receive the official offer from the school, you will be sponsored. You will have the fellowship immediately. And they call it the GRA, the Graduate Research Assistantship. And that's considered a fellowship. Full stipend, medical insurance, tuition fee, everything. So you can directly apply to the school, no problem. But one of the requirements is you need to have a strong letter of recommendation from prestigious professor. And I know some of the professors in Vietnam, we we face some challenge in publishing on international journals. And sometimes that's why it's quite hard for the school to verify the capability of that professor. And that will going to be, I think, a challenge for us if you apply directly from Vietnam. But if you, during the process, you collaborate with a lab or institution in the US or anywhere in the world that has strong publication record, you can ask the professor to help you with a recommendation, and that's going to be acceptable as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, my question may be more direct into how to get into graduate school. As you say, it requires GRE, GPA, and recommendation letter. So besides GPA and recommendation letter, talking about GRE, verbal section. My question for many successful fellows is that how did you succeed in verbal section? Because it's really challenging, even if you're a native American.